Hey guys, so for today's video, I created this gorgeous, kind of purpley, smoky look with the new Sigma New Mod palette. I'm finally doing a video with this palette. This palette launched about 2 weeks ago and I was invited to the Sigma event in Minnesota. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the event. So this video is going to be a little chattier than usual. I showed you how I did this eye look, which is the eye look that I wore to the event, and I did all my face makeup on camera as well. And also in this video, I'm going to be doing a giveaway with the whole New Mod collection. I have the palette, the brushes, the lip products, and the cute little bag it comes in. So stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how to enter the giveaway. Alright, so if you want to see how I got this eyeshadow look, my thoughts on this palette, talk about the event a little bit, go ahead and keep on watching. Guys, I was just having so many technical problems before filming this video, so I'm all over the place right now, but I'm excited to dig into this eyeshadow palette. I have some amazing news as well. My Sigma brush set is finally back in stock. It's been out of stock, I want to say, since like November. It's finally back, so I will be using it today. My brush set has my 5 go-to eyeshadow brushes in it. So we have the E35 blending brush, just like your typical blending brush. We have the E25, which is a little bit more tapered. We have, this one is the E30 pencil brush. This is the E21 smudge brush, and the LO5, which is a lip brush, but I like to use this for my cut creases. So I will be using only these 5 brushes on my eyes today. All right, and let's dig into this beautiful eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna be recreating the look that I wore to the event because I just love that look and it's just so intense and pretty, so let's do it. I'm gonna go straight in with Voguish on the E25, and this shade's gonna go in my crease. I decided I'm going to talk about the event when I'm doing my face makeup in this video, so if you're here just for the tutorial, you don't have to hear me talk on and on. I just love this tone of purple though, it's so pretty. Okay, then I'm going to take my Sigma switch and clean off that brush. Then I'm going to take the shade New Mod, and I'm going to use that around the edges of the first color. And I'm kind of using the tip of the brush to blend out this shade. I was doing this eye look for the event. I was a little bit rushed, so I was going pretty fast with my eyeshadow, so I did it like super sloppy, and then I cleaned it up, which is kind of what I'm doing today. Now I'm gonna take the lightest matte shade Preppy again on that same brush, and I'm gonna use that to blend right below the brow. Now I'm gonna go back into Voguish, and I'm just gonna make sure that shade is nice and intense in my crease. Also, again, I apologize for the lighting. Like I said, my camera had a weird glitch before I started filming, so I had to reset all my camera settings. So I don't even remember what settings they were on because they've been on the same settings for like 3 years now. So now I'm taking even more Voguish and adding that to the outer half of my lid. This was definitely the first shade that like really called to me when I first used this palette. I was like, I need this purple all over my lid, all over my crease. I love it. All right, we got purple pretty much all over the eyes. Now let's add some shimmer. So I'm gonna take Artsy on my finger. So this is gonna go on the inner part of my lid where it's blank. And then taking that E25 and just softly blending around that shimmer. I'm having some issues getting my finger right in this inner corner just because of my nails. So I'm gonna take that LO5 brush in my brush set with that Artsy shade and just use it to get this little inner corner area that I could not reach. If you have smaller eyes, this brush would also be a really good lid brush because it's just a really flat brush. I know the look is super pretty, but it's all kind of one color, so to add more dimension, I added one of the kind of duochrome shades. So I'm gonna pick up this shade, Avant Garde, and I just put that right on top of Artsy. So this shade just kind of gives the look a little more dimension. And again, just softly blending around the shimmers. And then I take a little bit of this hot shade and I added that kind of right here above the 2 shimmers in my inner crease. And this just kind of like opens up the eye a little bit more. And then for this look, I had to deepen up the outer corners. That's like my favorite thing to do. So I'm gonna take this grunge shade on the E30 and use this to deepen up the outer kind of quarter of the eye. Then I'm gonna clean off the E25 again just because I have a lot of pigment on this brush, and using this to blend out that grungy shade. All right, so it looks something like this. Like I said, I'm pretty messy with my eyeshadow, but I'm just gonna clean all of this up and it's gonna look perfect. All right, so I'm just gonna take a makeup wipe, put my finger in there, clean up under my eyes, and then right here, just gonna press down and drag it up towards the tail of my brow. And I kind of use a clean finger to pat around that makeup wipe. And just like that, the eyeshadow is nice and cleaned up. Now let's do some face makeup and I'll talk all about my little Sigma trip. All right, let's start by priming the face. I'm gonna take the Laneige Glowy Makeup Serum. I don't even know where to start with this whole Sigma trip. Let's see, I got the email for the trip, Sigma saying, hey, we wanna fly you out to Minnesota to see our headquarters and we're launching a new palette and like we want you to be part of the event. And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, yes, please, I would love to go. Cause this is the first time I've ever been invited to kind of like a brand trip. The only other time I've been like invited to something was 2 years ago. Sigma invited me to their headquarters just kind of for funsies. And then back in 2017, I was in the Benefit Brow contest, but that was like a whole competition. But there was like a trip involved in that. But this was my first like invite to Sigma for the launch of a new product kind of thing. And so immediately I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'll be there. Now I'm gonna take the Sigma Color Correcting Duo in light medium and I just mix both colors together. Okay, so I said yes, of course I will be there. And they told me that they're flying a couple other influencers out there, which I was super excited about. And so Sigma flew out me, Samantha March, Kelly Gooch, and Angelica. I don't know how to say your last name. It starts with an N and I don't want to mess it up, but I'm gonna link all the girls down below. So it was us 4 influencers flown out for this trip and we stayed at the hotel that's like attached to Mall of America. Super duper cool. I'm gonna put on Too Faced Born This Way. And the trip was pretty short. We had a couple dinners planned. We had lunch. We hung out at the headquarters, got a whole tour of it. But for me, kind of the coolest part was just meeting other influencers. For me, I live in boring Oregon. Like there's no other influencers in Oregon. Like it's not like I live in LA or New York where there's, you know, a lot of influencers there. So I've never really met people who are established influencers who do what I do as a full-time job. It was just so cool to talk about things that I couldn't talk about to like my boyfriend or my other friends because they don't understand because they're not influencers, you know? So we talked about, you know, managers, affiliate programs, accounting, like just things like that. It was just very refreshing for me to be around people who are like me because, you know, I don't have friends that are influencers. Like this was my, like I said, this is my first time meeting other influencers and I'm so happy I did. I did want to mention too that both Sam and Angelica did post vlogs of the trip. So if you wanted to like kind of see what we did, I'll link their vlogs down below. One of my favorite parts of this trip was at the Sigma headquarters. We were all just kind of sitting around a table, us 4 girls, and then Simone, the co-founder and owner of Sigma. We were all sitting at a table in like the lab, and Simone's like showing us and talking about these new launches that are coming in the upcoming months and years, and that was just really cool to get like sneak peeks of what's coming. Guys, you are gonna love it. I love it. Like, I can't wait. And what I love about Simone is that she's genuinely just so honest and kind, and she really wants like our feedback on products as influencers and as consumers as well. Like Simone told us she's always on YouTube watching videos, product reviews, things like that. Like she takes notes on what people say to improve her products. I did buy the new-ish Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer because I just wanted to try it. So I'm gonna use this under my eyes. And it's just really cool to connect with the owner of a brand. Like that's something I never thought I would do in my life. And one of the coolest things was, oh, I'm gonna be jumping around so much. My brain's all over the place right now. I need to go backwards. At one of the lunches before the actual like new mod event, I gave all the girls, including Simone, a pair of bright lashes, right? Because I was like, I want to share my brand with you and try my lashes, like, cause I love them, so I want you to love them. So I gave everyone a pair of lashes, and Simone actually wore my lashes at the Sigma event. Like, the owner of Sigma Beauty was wearing my lashes. That was just like a mind-blowing thing to me, and they looked so freaking good on her. I gave her Flutter, which is one of my half lashes, and she applied them perfectly. She looked so stunning, and it was just really cool to see her support my brand. Like, that's just crazy to me. What else happened? So then the Sigma event happened. It was a super cool little space. They had vendors for flowers, little like appetizer foods and drinks. The drinks were delicious. And then Sigma also brought in some local influencers that live in Minnesota. So there was like some fashion people, some more beauty people. There was probably like maybe 15 influencers total. So it was really cool to meet, again, other influencers. I'm just gonna set my under eyes. And then at the event, Simone is kind of just talking to everyone about like how Sigma started, how she creates her products, like just her thought process, and a little bit about the new mod collection. And guys, this palette is so stunning. Like, I love the kind of cool toned, purpley vibes it has. It's super on trend right now. I feel like a lot of brands are kind of doing this, but I just love Sigma's take on it because you can also do some really pretty neutral looks with the palette. At one of our last dinners, one of the Sigma girls, Lauren, was wearing this gorgeous, just really soft eyeshadow look, and I was like, are you wearing new mod? She's like, yeah, of course. And I was like, I need to recreate that look she was wearing because it was just so simple but so gorgeous at the same time. I've really been needing a new bronzer. I'm not liking my bronzer options. So I'm just gonna use my go-to, which is the Hourglass Nude Bronze Light. I'm gonna use this Sigma brush. This one's really good. It's the Powder Sculpt. I love this shape for bronzing, like especially my big ass forehead. Just whoop, right in here, easy. So yeah, I had an amazing time in Minnesota. It was a short trip, but I loved it so much. Like after the last dinner where like, you know, us four girls kind of said bye to each other, I just felt like so inspired again to be on YouTube. Like I said, just meeting other people who do the same thing as you is so nice. Like, I'm really not good at putting my thoughts into words, but I'm just very grateful and appreciative of that trip and the girls that I met. Now I'm gonna pop on the Glowish blush in the shade Berry Juicy. I've been using the Sigma tapered highlighter brush to apply my blush because it's just like a nice small blush. I feel like I said blush and brush so many times right there because it's a nice small brush, so I can be very like precise on where I'm placing my blush. I'm just gonna take my sponge and kind of tap over that blush. And then I think I highlighted with the shade in the palette, so let's do that. I'm gonna take that hot shade, the Sigma F03, just do a little highlighter like that. I've been doing this a lot where I just take whatever highlighter shades in the palette that I'm using and just use that on my face. It's been working pretty well. Okay, I'm happy with the face makeup. Now let's zoom in and finish up the eyes. So I'm gonna take that pencil brush and again use my Sigma switch to clean off the pigment. And I'm gonna go back in with Voguish. And this shade's gonna go on my entire lower lash line. I know I said I was gonna use only the brushes in my brush set today, but I do need one extra brush for this pretty important step. So I'm gonna take a smaller blending brush. This is the E27. It's just a smaller version of the E25. And I'm gonna use this just to blend along this kind of harsh line that I made in the beginning, just to soften it a little bit. Like I still want that shape, but it could just be a little softer. Now I'm gonna take the E21 with more grunge, and I'm gonna use that to really deepen up the lower lash line. And then taking the E30 and just kind of running over all of that. Now going back to the L05, I'm gonna take that highlighter shade. This shade's going in my inner corner. Look at how bright this highlight shade is. I'm obsessed. And a tiny bit of that under my brow. I'm gonna go pop on some mascara and lashes and then I'll show you the full look. Okay, I did pop on a little bit of a black eyeliner in my waterline just to get it nice and smoky, and for my lashes I'm wearing my brand The Bright Lashes in the style Angela. I did wear these lashes to the event. I wanted something super dramatic since my eyeshadow is pretty dramatic as well. Okay, I'm gonna call myself out here. I feel like I was a little too sloppy with my eyeshadow today. I'm just not super happy with the shape that I did, and the whole makeup wipe cleaning up just like didn't work in my favor today. I have a little bit of a line and I don't love it. Like, you might not be able to tell from far away, but I can tell this doesn't feel like my best work, but I love the eyeshadow look. On my lips, I'm wearing the new Sigma liquid lipstick in New Mod. obviously I had to go with the theme, but I did pop on the lip gloss in Brilliance on top. This is one of my favorite lip glosses from Sigma. And this is the final look. This is the eyeshadow that I wore to the event. I love how it looks. I love the two shimmer shades on my lid. I think they're gorgeous. I am so excited to create more looks with this palette. Like I said, I want to do a really soft look that I saw Lauren wear. Like I can use the gold shade over here. There's a lot of looks that I can create with this palette, so I'm so excited to do more. Just a couple of things to wrap up this video. Don't forget you can use my code AngelaBright to save the 10% on almost anything from Sigma, the palette, their brushes. It doesn't work on my brush set because the brush set's already discounted by having it in a bundle of brushes. But again, my brush set is back in stock, so if you've been wanting to try out these brushes, this is a great way to do it. And don't forget to enter my giveaway with the new Mod palette. This is not affiliated with Sigma at all. This is a giveaway that I'm just doing myself because I had an extra palette. So to enter the giveaway, I'm gonna leave a little Google form down below, fill out that form, and that's how you're entered for the giveaway. So again, one person will get the new Mod palette, the little makeup brush bag, the liquid lipstick and lip gloss in the collection, and these 5 brushes that also come in the collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.